Welcome to Kansas Ag Report with your host, Brian Holman.
Welcome to Kansas Ag Report. I'm Brian Holman, and here's our lineup for today's show. In Ag News, we'll take a look at local and national headlines affecting Kansas farmers. In our Ag Feature, we sit down with Greg Hadley from K-State Research and Extension to talk about succession planning. And inside Kansas Ag, Kansas Wheat informs us about Kansas Day, and Kansas Department of Ag talks about the role ag plays in the state's economy. And the news you need to know, we get our weekly update from the Kansas Livestock Association, look back at last week's market activity with the guys from Paragon, and we'll let you know about important events coming up around the state of Kansas. Glad you could join us.
Closed captioning brought to you by Dick Edwards in Manhattan, selling America's #1 truck, the Ford F-150, for over 30 years. DickEdwardsAuto.com.
Kansas Soybean Commission, the Soybean Checkoff. Progress powered by Kansas farmers. kansassoybeans.org.
Ag Risk Solutions. Experience, knowledge, integrity. Your crop insurance solution, Ag Risk Solutions. Dick Edwards Auto Plaza in Junction City, home of this year's Motor Trend Truck of the Year, Ram Truck. DickEdwardsAuto.com.
Here's our national headlines for this week in Ag News. USDA's Farm Service Agency has released more information on dairy producer participation in the Margin Protection Program. Just over half, or 50.4% of the nation's 47,000 dairy operations, have signed up. Those producers represent an estimated 59% of the nation's milk production. 55% of those who signed up purchased coverage above the $4 per hundredweight basic plan. The marketplace for sorghum, both domestically and internationally, has steadily increased within the last 5 years. Exports of U.S. grain sorghum have already surpassed last year's total just 4 months into this marketing year. In fact, bushels for exports as of the first week of January had already reached 237 million bushels, which is 12% higher than last year's sales. Mexico is the largest importer, committing to approximately 973,000 bushels of grain sorghum weekly. New York Congressman Charlie Rangel has reintroduced the Free Trade with Cuba Act, and it's reported that more than a dozen Democratic House members are co-signing the legislation. Rangel first proposed a Cuba trade policy in 1993, the same year that NAFTA was approved. And in local news, January 30th is a deadline to apply for assistance if you have suffered qualifying disaster-related livestock or grazing losses between October 1st of 2011 and December 31st of 2014. The Livestock Indemnity Program and the Livestock Forage Program were reauthorized by the 2014 Farm Bill to provide relief to ranchers impacted by drought, blizzards, and other natural disasters. Your local FSA office has a list of eligible counties and the applications. Details are also available on the FSA website at fsa.gov. Corn for grain production in Kansas, based on year-end surveys, is estimated at 566 million bushels, up 12% from 2013, according to USDA's NASS. Sorghum for grain production in 2014 is estimated to be at 200 million bushels, also up 19% from 2013. Soybean production for 2014 totaled 143 million bushels, up 9% from the 2013 season. The Commodity Classic is an annual convention of the Kansas Corn, Wheat, and Grain Sorghum Associations and will take place at the Hilton Garden Inn in Manhattan on February 6. It's free to attend and includes a complimentary breakfast and lunch, and pre-registration is requested. This year's Classic will be emceed by Eric Atkinson of K-State Radio Network, and Dr. Barry Flinchball will be the featured keynote speaker. For more information, go to kswheat.com or call 785-539-0255 to register. Up next in our Ag Feature, we sit down with Greg Hadley from K-State Research and Extension to discuss succession planning. You're watching Kansas Ag Report. Please stay tuned.
This segment brought to you by Grass and Grain, online or in the mail, keeping Kansas farmers informed for over 60 years. GrassandGrain.com.
A.B. Flint Motor Company, selling quality used cars and trucks in Southeast Topeka at 32nd and South Kansas Avenue. Integrity Gun and Pawn, 2 Topeka locations specializing in firearms and training. igpawn.com to learn more. Kansas Weed Commission, leaders in the adoption of profitable innovations for weeds. Online at kswheat.com.
I'm Dr. Frank Lyons, a physician here at Kansas Regenerative Medicine Center. As one of the only standalone stem cell centers in the U.S., we use your stem cells as therapy for arthritis and some autoimmune diseases.
I'm Dr. Andrew Poe, here at Kansas Regenerative Medicine Center. Utilizing the latest technology under strict protocols, we're able to harvest your stem cells from your own fat to treat a variety of medical conditions. The best part about it is, it's a same-day surgical procedure and requires no general anesthesia.
American innovation is being driven in places you might not expect by people like Brent Hayek, an Oklahoma family farmer, who recently set a world land speed record in a Ford Super Duty pickup truck powered by renewable B20 biodiesel. Advanced performance is here, now, putting America on the fast track to more jobs and energy independence. Biodiesel, America's advanced biofuel.
You need a partner that you can count on to be there for your business. Providing a depth of understanding to risk management issues so you don't have to. A knowledgeable support team located in your area, delivering products and services to make you more successful.
Here at Blue River Traders, we have the greatest selection of rustic and western furniture in Kansas.
At Blue River Traders, you can select from an inventory of rustic lodge or western furnishings. With a designer on hand, Blue River Traders will help create the look you desire.
Dick Edwards is taking North Central Kansas by storm. We've been bending over backwards to exceed your car buying experience for over 30 years. Choose from one of our 9 different new car brands or from our second to none used selection. Currently, with over 700 vehicles to choose from, we definitely have the one for you. Whether you're coming from the north, south, east, or west, our sales and service departments will work tirelessly to do what's right for you. Dick Edwards in Manhattan and Junction City, bending over backwards for you.
Thanks for staying with us this morning. We're joined by Greg Hadley, who's with K-State Research and Extension. We're talking about something that's extremely important. As most farmers know, they tend to age and move on and bring other people into their operations. And Greg, today we're talking about succession, moving new people into operations. It's the beginning of the year. Is this a good time to start thinking about those things?
Well, I think it's always a good time to be thinking about succession. We say the best time to start planning is today, and you continue forever doing it. But this time of year is a good time. I know that a lot of people with Farm Bill sign up and things like that are busy. But when you consider that this is kind of the normal downtime of the year for most farms, this is a good time to really start the bulk of it.
And when we're talking about that, this can be a lengthy process. I don't think there's really anything short about the process.
That's right. If you do a real comprehensive job of succession planning, which would involve everything from learning how to communicate with your family, learning how to manage conflicts, developing that management team on up to the final stage, which I suggest would be the actual estate plan. For some families, it could take a year because we don't have a whole lot of time on our farms and ranches to dedicate to farming. And so I suggest to people, when they're first developing their succession plan, take 2 to 3 hours a month and develop it and let it develop over time rather than trying to push something through just to get it done.
Right. Size of farm, size of operation, does it really matter, or is it's farming is farming is farming?
Farming is farming and farming, and especially when we're talking about successions of family owned farm and ranches, family is family is family. And so the emotional issues that are there and things like that, those need to be discussed, whether we're talking about the 10-head cow-calf herd or the 10,000-acre crop farm.
Well, no matter what, you get to pick a lot of things in life. Your family generally don't get to pick.
That's right.
I'm sure there is some conflict resolution that goes along with it.
Oh yes, there often is. We talk about lots of times in succession planning, those of us that have facilitated successions, that if you had the choice between working on a succession with non-related members versus related members, that you would kind of choose the unrelated family or the unrelated farm succession, because there's no trust, there's no prior history, and you're going to talk about the issues that you should be talking about, just like any business purchase sell decision. And we need to be doing that on our family farms and ranches too.
We're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, we're going to finish up with Greg, and we'll finish up our conversation about succession and farming. Watching kansasAGreport. See you in just a minute.
This segment brought to you by Kansas Regenerative Medicine Center. Your stem cells, your health, your life. Farmers Insurance, your best protection against the unexpected. Call Agent Dan Key at 785-408-5459. Grass and Grain, online or in the mail.
Thanks for staying with us
farmers
this morning.
informed for over 60 years. GrassandGrain.com. Blue River Traders, the finest selection of Western-style furniture for your home. BlueRiverTraders.com.
I'm Brian Holman with kansasAGreport. If you'd like to advertise your business on Kansas's #1 ag television program, then give us a call at 785-554-5974. Thanks for staying with us through the break. Greg, thank you for staying with us.
Sure.
Starting point, where should we start?
Well, the one thing that I would suggest is to kind of go outside your family member and find an agent, a mediator, a consultant that deals in farm successions, that helps families talk and think about planning successions. And that's a great place to start. But where we tell people that it's really important is to develop that succession planning team, to actually get grandma and grandpa, mom and dad, son and daughter sitting together, talking as an effective management team, talking about the roles. Then kind of the next step, I would say, is talking about where they want the business to go, and developing an overall business plan that describes that, and where the next generation is able to explain when they go from worker to become the manager of a unit, to becoming the overall leader of the farm. Talk in detail about how you expect that transition to occur. And then once you have that worked out and written down, then you should probably take that plan and go to a financial analyst to determine whether this looks feasible. And if it is feasible, how do we make it work from the financial side, from the risk management side? And once that's worked out, then we suggest you go to an estate planner and say, this is what we got, this is what we want to do. And then that attorney will be able to sit down and design an estate plan that really works for your farm and what you want it to become.
I know you've got other dates coming up around the state, and we've got a short amount of time here in this segment. So knock out those dates for us.
Yes. We are going to meet March 3rd at the Ag Research Station in Hayes, and then March 19th at Allen Community College in Iola, Kansas. And if people are interested in attending, and we hope that they are, they should just contact their local extension agent.
Perfect. Greg, thank you for your time.
Thank you.
We've been joined by Greg today talking about succession, and you're watching kansasAGreport. We'll see you in just a minute. Because of you, our viewers, Kansas Ag Report continues to be the #1 rated ag television program in the state of Kansas, and we'd like to say thanks for watching.
On January 29th, Kansas will celebrate the 154th anniversary of its statehood. When the first settlers roamed the prairies of the territory, they probably never imagined that the land they were in would one day be easily recognizable as America's breadbasket. Initially, the wheat grown in Kansas was mostly classes of spring wheat. Because of the state's hot, dry summers, wheat never prospered. Many doubted that wheat would ever be able to grow successfully in the state. But in 1874, Russian Mennonite immigrants introduced Turkey red wheat to Kansas. This hardy variety was planted in the fall and could withstand Kansas' cold and dry winter and could take advantage of the moisture that arrives in the winter and early spring. This introduction revolutionized the wheat industry in Kansas, and Turkey red wheat eventually became the ancestor to all hard red winter wheat varieties. T.C. Henry, a pioneer of the Kansas wheat industry during its formative years, predicted that winter wheat will doubtless be the great staple of our country, and encouraged farmers to plant winter wheat. A combination of his advocacy and a series of disasters plaguing spring wheat and corn cemented winter wheat into the history books of Kansas. Kansas continues to be one of the largest producers of wheat in the U.S. and is the largest flour milling state in the Union. To learn more about Kansas wheat, please visit kansaswheat.org.
Good morning. I'm Jake Wooster, Assistant Secretary of the Kansas Department of Agriculture. Agriculture provides the backbone of our Kansas economy. We are a state that has our roots sunk deeply into productive soils. Each year, agriculture contributes more than $53 billion, and yes, that's a billion with a B, to our economy, making up a whopping 37% of the total. Our Kansas meat processing plants account for 19% of all the cattle processed in the nation, employing over 18,000 people. In fact, 1 of every 8 Kansans is employed in some facet of the agriculture, agribusiness, or food processing industries in our great state. In order to better understand the importance of agriculture on the county level, the Kansas Department of Agriculture has made available the economic data for each county in Kansas. This information, based on data provided by the National Ag Statistics Service, gives us a snapshot of the numbers of farms, crop and livestock sales, as well as leading commodities produced in the county and what agriculture, food, and food processing sectors may be present there. The information can be found online at www.agriculture.ks.gov/your county's name. For example, to access the economic information for my home county of Graham, I would log on to agriculture.ks.gov/Graham County. We Kansans are proud of our important role of providing jobs for our citizens, as well as producing the safest, most abundant food supply for not only Kansans and Americans, but consumers around the world.
This segment brought to you by Oldie Seed Farms, carrying soil-specific seed. Find them on the web at oldieseed.com. That's OHLDE seed.com. A.B. Flint Motor Company, selling quality used cars and trucks in southeast Topeka at 32nd and South Kansas Avenue. Integrity Gun and Pawn, 2 Topeka locations specializing in firearms and training. igpawn.com to learn more. Impact Satellite, your local authorized DirecTV dealer. Impact Satellite at 785-554-5974.
Dick Edwards is taking North Central Kansas by storm. We've been bending over backwards to exceed your car buying experience for over 30 years. Choose from one of our 9 different new car brands or from our second-to-none used selection. Currently, with over 700 vehicles to choose from, we definitely have the one for you. Whether you're coming from the north, south, east, or west, our sales and service departments will work tirelessly to do what's right for you. Dick Edwards in Manhattan and Junction City, bending over backwards for you.
Imagine having someone help you pick the best corn hybrids for every field on your farm. Your Oldie representative can combine your data with his data to offer a field-by-field prescription. Contact Oldie Seed today at 877-692-4555.
Tammy the Pro Home Plus is all about providing warmth and kindness to aging individuals who find it difficult to live on their own. Tammy's team is made up of experienced caregivers and nurses committed to the highest level of individualized care, focusing on health and well-being, and assisting with nutrition, grooming, medications, therapies, and daily living needs, all in a warm, caring environment. Call Tammy the Pro Home Plus today at 785-383-7094 to learn how we can help.
The producer-funded Kansas Wheat Innovation Center was built to get improved varieties into the hands of farmers faster. Kansas Wheat, farmers advancing their future through wheat genetics research.
This hog is Hanover hoof for meal made from U.S. soybeans. Now, one hog isn't that impressive, but suppose we add another, and another, and another. Before long, you've got billions of hungry customers around the world all clamoring for the same thing. Our soybeans. Learn more about the billion-dollar appetite of animal agriculture at BeyondTheElevator.com. Brought to you by America's soybean farmers and their checkoff.
Dick Edwards is taking North Central Kansas by storm. We've been bending over backwards to exceed your car buying experience for over 30 years. Choose from one of our 9 different new car brands or from our second-to-none used selection. Currently, with over 700 vehicles to choose from, we definitely have the one for you. Whether you're coming from the north, south, east, or west, our sales and service departments will work tirelessly to do what's right for you. Dick Edwards in Manhattan and Junction City. Bending over backwards for you.
Since 1983, the Hydrobed has been utilized on cattle operations throughout North America. The Hydrobed equips your 3-quarter or 1-ton truck for hay handling and feeding. Variable speed cable controls or the optional wireless remote enable you to haul, transport, and unroll 2 round bales weighing up to 3,000 pounds each. A mechanical free float automatically compensates for uneven ground and out of round bales, isolating you and the truck from impact of a bale unrolling. To find out how the Hydrobed can improve your feeding efficiency, call or visit us on the web at triple-c-inc.com.
Appointments have completed the executive committees of 2 Kansas Livestock Association councils. Chairman John Adams of Plains recently announced final appointments to the KLA Stock Growers Council Executive Committee for 2015. Adams appointed Brent Bertrand of Wallace, Daniel Mushrush from Strong City, Kerry O'Brien of Hepler, and Kevin Schultz from Haviland to complete the 11-member executive committee. Other members elected at the 2014 Kansas Livestock Association Convention were Vice Chair Harry Mosier of Wheaton, Guy Bracken from Clearwater, Tyler Breeden of Quinter, Dan Larson from Sharon Springs, and Jessica Weltmer of Smith Center. Phil Perry of Oskaloosa is the immediate past council chair, making him a member of the Stock Growers Council Executive Committee as well. Members of the KLA Cattle Feeders Council elected Lee Reeve with Reeve Cattle Company of Garden City as chairman during the KLA convention. Joel Jarnigan with Neosho Valley Feeders at Parsons was elected vice chairman. Completing the 7-member committee are immediate past chairman Grant Morgan with Pokey Feeders of Scott City, Jerry Kuckelman with ILS at Great Bend, Michael Archibald with Deseret Cattle Feeders of Satana, Dave Latta with Pratt Feeders, and Stephen Bagley of Sunbelt Feed Yard near Hugoton.
Hi, I'm Brian Holder with Paragon Ag. Grain markets have lost the bullish sentiment as USDA confirmed a large U.S. production and little to no global production threats. Traders are repositioning after the post-harvest rally failed to see a continued bullish demand outlook. Soybeans have led the slide lower as China is reporting lower economic growth and Chinese buyers are canceling some of their soybean orders. Brazil, now in the key yield-setting time frame, has no serious weather concerns. We are set for the seasonal decline in soybean demand and will need a domestic weather problem to get back to the recent highs. Corn demand remains solid currently, however Ukraine is becoming more competitive and traders still talk of ethanol production facing the stiff headwinds of low crude oil prices and gross profit margins that are continuing to deteriorate. With over half of the 2014 production still in the bin, producers are trying to wait out higher prices which may now only come with a spring or summer weather scare. In the near term, expect corn to remain within 20 cents either side of $4. The wheat market gave back most of the November-December rally when the Russian news failed to gain any additional business for the U.S. The U.S. and the world both have sufficient supplies in wheat and demand has been tepid. The Russians are not out of the headlines yet. Last week, Deputy Prime Minister suggested that Russia may consider an outright ban on all grain exports if the domestic food prices don't stop rising. So for questions or comments on how to navigate most profitably in these markets, give us a call at 888-452-8751.
Closed captioning brought to you by Dick Edwards in Manhattan, selling America's #1 truck, the Ford F-150, for over 30 years. DickEdwardsAuto.com.
Kansas Soybean Commission, the Soybean Checkoff. Progress powered by Kansas farmers. kansassoybeans.org.
Ag Risk Solutions. Experience, knowledge, integrity. Your crop insurance solution, Ag Risk Solutions. Dick Edwards Auto Plaza in Junction City, home of this year's Motor Trend Truck of the Year, Ram Truck. DickEdwardsAuto.com.
Well, that's our show for today. I hope you'll join us each week for more news and information about agriculture in the state of Kansas. I'm Brian Holman, and thanks for watching.
Here at Blue River Traders, we have the greatest selection of rustic and western furniture in Kansas.
At Blue River Traders, you can select from an inventory of rustic lodge or western furnishings. With a designer on hand, Blue River Traders will help create the look you desire.
Imagine having someone help you pick the best corn hybrids for every field on your farm. Your Oldie representative can combine your data with his data to offer a field-by-field prescription. Contact Oldie Seed today at 877-692-4555.
Tammy the Pro Home Plus is all about providing warmth and kindness to aging individuals who find it difficult to live on their own. Tammy's team is made up of experienced caregivers and nurses committed to the highest level of individualized care, focusing on health and well-being, and assisting with nutrition, grooming, medications, therapies, and daily living needs, all in a warm, caring environment. Call Tammy the Pro Home Plus today at 785-383-7094 to learn how we can help.